Kareem, honestly, Coach Pitino's got a pretty good track record of producing head coaches. Is that got to be one of the reasons why you're excited to work under him or work for him?
Well, yeah, that's certainly part of it, but obviously, being in the profession for a long time and kind of like Doug here, reading here, being a basketball junkie, for me, it's not a better opportunity to learn from one of the, you're talking about Hall of Fame coach in my mind. So, that's exciting, especially where I am in my career, to be able to learn under coach and, see how, from afar, how he's been able to continually get programs better throughout the year, and that's exciting for me to be able to learn the ins and outs from coach.
What was your connection between the two of you, or how did you, what started the process?
I don't know if Coach remembers or not, but when I was playing in college, I worked a lot of basketball camps going through, and I worked Coach's camp back in the day. I did 5-star. Coach is a big 5-star guy, so obviously I followed Coach's career for a long time. But then I interviewed a couple of years ago here for Coach, and just stayed with the process and it's college ranks, as we all know, it's a small circle when it's all said and done. So just stayed in touch with Coach throughout the years, and as Kenny said, better late than never.
Coach always said the number one reason you hire is an assistant is for recruiting. Talk about your recruiting ties. I know there's a 2013 is a loaded class. You have to come get settled and then jump right into it.
Yeah, John, the big thing for me, obviously, is being, where we were at Xavier. When I say we, Doug and I at Xavier, we've gone in recruiting battles with Louisville and some of the other quote-unquote high majors. So, been in the ball game with some of those kids already. So I feel like it'll be an adjustment that'll be pretty smooth in that respects of who we're recruiting and the caliber of guys. We just felt like at Xavier, in order for us to be successful, we have to recruit and have that kind of talent. So I feel like it'll be a smooth transition.
Taking over quite a bit of that scouting duty that Richard Pitino had. Have you seen what goes into a Pitino-style scouting report? Are you familiar with that process?
Not, Coach kind of gave me a little bit of it, a little bit of taste. But Doug right here, he better have me right. If I look bad, I'm gonna blame it on Doug. So I'm hoping Doug will have my back on all the film work there. But no, for me, I've been blessed to start the profession when I first got into it. The earlier coaches that I was with, and like Royce Waltman, who coached under Bobby Knight for a long time, that would enable me to have the process of doing scouting reports and being very detailed and all of that stuff. So it was almost like one of those where being a kid and you didn't really understand why your parents are being hard on you then. The same thing, I didn't really understand why coach was being that detailed and that hard in the preparation, but now I get it. And so I'm blessed to have that experience under my belt, and that's kind of what all I know.
After the first interview, Coach talked about you making an impression on it, but you didn't get the job that first time. Did you feel like that the opportunity had passed and you probably wouldn't be in a situation now?
Yeah, you never really know in the profession, and that's kind of like I said, Coach and I stayed in contact, and he's always been great to me, even though I didn't get the job. And sometimes I've kind of felt like I was a part of the circle, as much as we were able to stay in touch and be able to get advice from him. So I was really fortunate.
How familiar you are with the personnel that you recruited? Go ahead with any of these guys in recruiting efforts, or just, I guess, how familiar are you with the personnel?
Well, the battle that we that's coming in the 2013. We battled there with that. So we had some familiarity in that standpoint there.
You're sitting here right now with,
Yeah,
we should have talked.
Yeah,
Strike that guy.
delete that.
you're sitting here now with a poll on that says Final Four on it. In terms of their run, what is it like to be able to be sitting here after a run that they just made?
No, it's an honor. It's an honor and a privilege. We were able to at Xavier make the Sweet 16, and it just the amount of preparation that even went to go to that extent, and now to see to realize how difficult it really is to get to a Final Four. So to be able to sit here and see what they did in terms of last year, I mean it's hard. Not everybody gets that opportunity. I certainly haven't been in that position to make a Final Four, but that again, that's going to be a goal again for this coming year.
Given your roots in Indiana, Illinois area, I mean, do you feel like that's your recruiting home base, or what? Do you feel like you have a recruiting home base, or?
Yeah, being growing up in Illinois, certainly feel like that's definitely a strong base for me there. And some of the other stops that I've been, you've had to kind of dibble and dabble a little bit of everywhere. So I feel comfortable, Midwest or wherever. I really honestly feel like the recruiting standpoint of it is built on relationships, and I feel like put me out in the middle of wherever it may be, whether it's California or Texas, wherever it may be. I just feel like developing those relationships, I feel like I'll figure it out. And but home base for me certainly is Illinois and the Midwest ties.
What impressed you about Doug here, Xavier?
Hard work. I mean, he was usually the first one in the office, stayed the latest, and he's already very, very detailed in what he does. He made sure. I mean, he really, and I was kind of teasing him, but he really helped me as far as the scouting reports and my preparation when it was my scout of making sure we had the games, enough games, and everything was cut up. I mean, he's tireless when it comes to working. So I was excited to know I'll be able to join back with him. And he doesn't get a lot. He doesn't get any of the credit like any of us do, but he works his tail off, and he's going to make sure everybody in the program looks good.
How well do you know Wyking and Keats? Do you cross paths with those guys out there?
Yeah, cross paths. Actually, one of the players that we had at Xavier, Des Wells, Keats coached him, and so had some familiarity there, and on the road with Wyking and those guys. So definitely have crossed paths around there, and I tell you what, getting to know these guys over the last couple of weeks. I mean, they're outstanding. And, I text those guys last night, really excited about the opportunity to be able to join forces with them and roll our sleeves up and do it together. So those guys they're going to be tremendous.
Anything else?